Bob the Builder.
Is the first word on this podcast Bob the Builder?
I didn't hear the intro.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, the intro hasn't been working.
Fuck's sake.
Rage Whale, your regular fix for movies and mayhem.
So what I might do is, everyone got their mic?
Mm-hmm.
James,
I got my mic. Just saying, I'm going to adjust it.
Can you extend that a little bit?
Drew was saying how it looks better if we have mics on the thing, so I've got my wire going down my back. It's actually a pump. But
Do you know what, actually, that looks like the thing in June. You know where they go boom, boom, boom to get the massive worms?
oh yeah, they go boom, boom. That's bad. That's a bad screen grab.
I'm photoshopping that.
I'm dealing with budget cuts this end, so I've just got a pump.
We'll get
I
you
don't
a
even know why I
microphone.
have this, by the way.
I ran out of drink within 3 minutes of our chat earlier, so I just brought up my drink
Look,
so I
my
can
source code.
That's still June. Stick
That's
up your nose.
Bane, isn't it? Source code?
Yeah, I don't know what you're on about.
There'd be
Source code.
less.
Source code at the end. He's in he's in a tank, isn't he? With
Yeah,
no
there'd be
arms
less
and
of
legs.
you though.
Oh, that's
Actually,
a
I
bit
guess to be fair, in
I'm
that
not going to
window.
cut off my arms and legs for the sake of a 2-minute segment on a
Yeah.
podcast.
Anyway,
Oh, what
Rage
are you a
Whale.
nugget? Oh, I thought it'd be really funny for a segment.
Welcome to episode 18. Kev, James, Drew. We are here chatting movies, and we never do a proper intro like what we actually do. But yeah, that's what we
What do
do.
we do though? We don't know what we do.
We chat movies, but we don't.
We chat shit.
We hint a movie, and then we talk about weird stuff around that scenario.
I can already tell this is going to be a fun one.
We build up to reviewing something, and then we just go in a completely different direction, like The Walking
Yeah, what we
Dead.
do is we build up your hopes and dreams and then just shatter them.
Well, I put a little shout out just last minute, literally half an hour before we're going to start recording. So to see if anyone wanted to send us a message, question, or anything. And we've got a question from our super fan, ours, who on Instagram is, I don't know how you pronounce it. On Instagram, if you want to search for her, who's a poet and illustrator, it's Denizired.
Denizired. There we go.
Denizired? I don't know.
And also Procetrix as well is another handle for her.
Oh yeah, different one, yeah. But good luck spelling that one.
Procetrix. Procetrix.
So her question to us, she hasn't got round to watching or listening to episode 10 yet.
Neither have I.
You've listened to 11.
Oh yeah, I haven't done that either.
Do we want to
10,
admit that?
10's better. 10's
11's the best
one.
visually for anyone knowing. 11, the first 10 minutes of 11 to watch is quite good. The rest, I just turn it off.
Episode 10's the funniest. And we should do this more often. So rather than just talking film, we should do an episode, not a full episode, maybe we should just deviate as usual, but talk about old times, because I think a lot of people really enjoy our chat about us hanging out in the early 2000s. But anyway, Arzu asks, where did we three meet? We answered that in episode 10, so go back to that one.
Lightning or rain. Sorry.
It's quite funny. It's quite funny how we met, and the fact that Drew doesn't remember meeting James there. He remembers meeting James, but just not at his place of work.
Sorry, dude.
It was a long time. We were 16, 17.
But that's what worries me a little bit about my brain, though, because
The first to
I
go.
was always hanging out with you at parties and getting, messed up at Kev's house, but I didn't realize we were work colleagues. Like, you were just
Maybe a
trapped
little
in
too
the
messed up.
warehouse. What?
That's because James is out the back all the time.
Yeah,
Don't say that.
fixing toasters or something.
He always had his
Normally,
hand in
jumping in
something.
boxes and climbing up sort of cages and stuff like that. It sounds like a wrestler, doesn't it?
Oh, Kev, were you there that day that Dan threw me into the kettles because he wouldn't let me? He wanted to take my Dyson.
Yeah.
Sounds
That
like the
was
greatest
mental.
plot for a movie ever.
Yeah,
No,
when
but
you
it
sell
was
a
always-
Dyson at Curry's, you get a £50 bonus. And Drew was about to do one, and Dan, the resident bully or hard
Pretty
nut
much.
or skinhead, grabbed him and threw him into the
Threw me
kettle and said, "That's
into the
mine."
kettle while I was serving a customer. It was like, like Street Fighter, but like if the background was curries, and then there's just like I just got smashed into all the
I
kettles.
bumped into him a few years ago, actually.
I hope you bumped into him hard.
No, because he kicked my ass.
Yeah, that's fair enough. That's fair enough.
Well, me and Drew would just go and sit in the
What was his
corner
surname?
in where the washing machines were, right at the far distance, and write out story ideas for films and draw. Right, all right. If you want a good Dan story, like we've changed subject already, but so when we worked in Curry's together, Dan was the guy that was a bit. He did. I don't know. Plagiarize him. That's the wrong word. Libelize him. Because he
Sponsored by Havana Club right now.
He did drugs and he did bad things.
Can I just say I'm not condoning any of this in case he does watch it?
I could take him now. Don't worry about it.
Because I still live in Andover. Oh, it's giving away where I live as well. Brilliant.
I liked him, to be honest. I genuinely liked him. I had a good time with him. But he did occasionally go a bit berserk. But he was
a switch.
He was sleep deprived, on drugs, and enjoyed a bit of a scrap. And so did I, but he was a bit bigger and a bit older and a bit more up for it on a regular basis. But I remember, because we used to drink a lot back then. That's when you were kids. So I've been into work at Curry's when I hadn't slept. I'd just come in straight from drinking, no sleep, zero.
As you should.
But I do remember one night I went out with... actually, I'm not going to go into detail on that part of the story. I went out with friends. Things happened, and I ended up saying, "Oh, wouldn't it be funny if you shaved my head?" And I had quite big hair. If you remember, I had big spiky hair.
Yeah, man.
And my mates shaved my head. I was completely bald, like proper skinhead. And I came into work at Curry's, still not right, still pretty drunk. And Dan was chatting to me in the back room, and where you do your cook your food in the microwave and stuff, the back room. Yeah. And me and Dan were just chatting.
Staff room.
Yeah, and he goes to me, nice haircut, because Dan had the exact same haircut. He was bald.
What is that haircut, technically?
Well, he did it deliberately. He had hair. He had a hairline. He shaved his head.
Fair.
But anyway, because they hadn't shaved it properly, because we're all wasted, there was a couple of little clumps on the back of my head of hair that they hadn't got off. So Dan goes, "Turn around, mate. I'll get that for you." And I wasn't with it. I was like, "Sure, you've got clippers. Yeah, sure." I didn't even think how he was going to do it. I just turned round, faced the wall, and went, "Yeah, go for it, mate." Didn't care. I wasn't really with it. He set my hair on fire to get rid of it. He put a lighter up to it. I thought he was going to shave it or use scissors. I didn't actually really think it through. I just went, "Yeah, get that little clump on the back of my head." Set fire to that bit of my hair, and I got shocked when the heat hit my skull, and I jumped forward. My face hit the wall, and there's a dent. It might have been fixed by now, but there's a dent in that wall, which I headbutted because I was about 30 centimeters away from that wall. And when he sent it burnt, I just went like that and shocked and headbutted it to get away from the heat.
I have a hair-related story as well while we're on that.
I've got another
Is it Dan-related or hair-related?
Used to live above a pub called The George, which was very famous in Andover for being a great place for upcoming rock bands.
The alternative music and bar venue.
I lived above there with a good friend of mine, Justin Burt, if he's listening. And I remember one time, for a laugh, we thought it'd be funny if I shaved a Hitler tash for the night, as you do. This was back in like the early to mid 2000s when you'd still dress like a Nazi and get away with it. I think you could even still do back then. You could still get away with a Chinese and an Indian accent, maybe even African and Korean. You could get away with anything back in the mid 2000s.
Just give James a spade.
So
I think you could. Yeah, you could do anything there, and it wouldn't be classed as offensive because you're trying to be funny. You weren't.
So either way, shaved it in, brilliant, haha. Everyone had a fun time. Obviously, it was a late night. I used to work at Phones for You. It was like over the high street. So I lived on my window, looked out onto the high street. Phones for You was about, I could throw a tennis ball and hit it from my, where I lived. Woke up late, rushed, didn't even think twice about it. Ran into work, and my boss was like,
"We need to have a word, James."
He's like, "Have you looked in the mirror this morning?
Have you had a wash?"
And I don't know if he remembers this. His name was Leo Ridgway, who also has a movie podcast, actually. We should probably talk to them. I think it's mainly horror movies. And I remember looking in the mirror and being like, for fuck's sake. So I ran home. Justin had hidden all the razors, like deliberately. So I had to run back out, go to Superdrug or whatever it was at the time, with a fucking
What, like
Hitler
that?
moustache, just like full on, and bought a razor, had to go home, shave it. I was like, for God's sake.
And you did that all before Harry did it.
Do you?
Oh yeah, I was ahead of the curve.
Kev, was
Also,
it me?
just on a quick subject, has anyone seen the major mishap that Adidas have made with the new German football kit?
No.
They've apparently...
Sorry to interrupt the show. Just a little reminder to say, check out our social media handles and follow us on Instagram and TikTok if you're not already. If you enjoy this podcast, why not share it with friends? And better yet, rate the show. Thanks for your time. Now, let's get back to the mayhem.
No.
They've apparently... You know, sometimes they get a bit jazzy with the styling of the font. The numbers are on at the back.
Right.
What they've gone with is a 4 is almost like an on its side Z. So what people have done is they've got a 44 on the back of their shirt, and if you tilt it, it's basically an SS logo. Have you seen it, Kev?
I've just seen it and saw it instantly.
It's like,
How do they
this
not
is
know that?
someone in marketing's losing their job. Like, look at that. Imagine 2 of them.
Oh,
Turn it sideways, Kev. Like clockwise or anti-clockwise.
oh,
Turn it again. No, I mean just tilt it
It's
slightly.
gonna
There you go.
correct
Oh,
itself.
it keeps moving.
oh.
Slightly problematic.
Yeah.
So
that
they've
very
apparently
much
banned people from ordering the number 44 on their shirt.
Shit. Drew,
Can you imagine?
Drew,
Someone on TikTok from Amazon.
got a hair- okay.
Someone from TikTok. Oh, sorry, someone from Adidas just scrolling TikTok and they're like, "Oh shit!"
how
What
that
a
got
terrible
past anyone.
decision.
I've got a potential hair story, if I remember it correctly. I remember the story, but was it me, or did at Curry's we had to be clean shaven, right?
No,
I swear we had to be clean shaven. No, I'm pretty sure we had to be clean shaven anyway.
No.
The story
I
goes.
always had facial hair when I
It was
could.
New Year's.
At the back, I think salespeople had to be clean shaven.
Oh yeah, dude, you're out the back with the toasters, man. You're not. Yeah,
Toasters
you're
you were
not.
getting thrown into.
Whoa! I got thrown into kettles. Actually, come on.
And electric toothbrushes.
And electric toothbrushes. But yeah, so anyway, I had to be clean shaven, and I was massively hungover at New Year's. And I remember I think I was crashing with Matt Slips, and he was like, "Dude, you're in no fit state to go to work." And again, for some reason, there was no option to find a shaving thing or anything, and I didn't have any of that stuff anyway. And I just
Worked at
remember
Curry's.
You got
They
a
sold shavers.
probably. I mean, yeah. Look, I mean, I feel like in this episode, I've almost grown a beard.
Wait, 2 seconds. You're complaining about not being able to find a razor when you worked at Curry's.
Yeah,
you
but I'm
can't
not
steal.
at Curry's yet. I'm at the house. I'm at the flat I'm staying in. Anyway, and I'm seeing about 7 different things because I'm so drunk of the same object. Anyway,
Kev's on it tonight. Bloody hell.
oi, oi. But my point is, I called up and I went, I can't come in today. And then like Matt is trying not to laugh, and then the manager Dave was like, why not, Drew? And I went, I've got hair on my face. And it was the idea that I thought
I somehow remember you saying, was I in the house at the time?
might have been. And everyone was trying not to laugh, but I was
You
like,
might be the only person that's called in sick to work due to puberty.
yeah, exactly. But it
I'm
was
too manly. I can't come to work. I'm too manly.
I'm way past 5 o'clock shadow. But it
Growing
was
facial hair overnight.
Just
That's
a quick one, Kev.
that's my superpower.
You're drinking Buffalo Trace, aren't you?
I'm drinking Captain Morgan's.
Oh,
I'm
who was
more of a
drinking
rum
Buffalo?
guy these days.
Who's
Sadie's,
taking-
It's on the
who's-
side.
Who said they were drinking Buffalo Trace earlier?
yeah,
someone did in the
Sadie's
chat.
having it downstairs. She's having a
Right.
Buffalo Trace.
Do you know, I think
Buffalo
I heard
Trace
this on the Joe
downstairs.
Rogan podcast, by the way. Because he's always sponsored by Buffalo Trace. I think it's the oldest current running distillery in the world because they operated through Prohibition for medicinal purposes.
Mate, I love Buffalo Trace, man. I used to have it.
Have you been on their website? It's got like a big map of their whole like thing. It's really cool.
With a giant buffalo.
Buffalo.
No.
So we went off topic there, discussing nothing
but
about
at the time, it was funny then if Kevin was in the background when I was technically calling in sick, but yeah, that was the photo.
I think I might have been because I remember that phrase.
Yeah, I was like,
It's back in the days where you or me would say a phrase, and it doesn't sound funny for people listening because you kind of really had to be there.
Yeah,
and
true.
That lingered for ages, like you said in the last episode. Scottish sausage sandwich.
That's true. I'm just sharing some of our madness, I guess. But
I should maybe probably make an agreement on this that if we have to prefix things with "you had to be there," the chances of anyone listening or watching to this of being there is very remote.
Well, yeah, they'd have to get in a time machine and go backwards.
It's like we're going to tell you a bunch of jokes that aren't funny. So,
well, was it like drew on my face with? Oh, is the way it said as well. I woke up hungover, and because Drew's name is also a verb. Is verb the right word? As in, I drew on something.
Yeah, I drew the curtains. Yeah.
I just like drew on my face with a stencil, and that lingered for ages. And it's not funny now, and it isn't funny.
Bit dirty,
but at the time, we wet ourselves, and we said it for years.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
For the last few minutes, I've been trying to work out in my head if it's going to be better or worse to hashtag Hitler in anything.
I already have, and I got it suspended. Not suspended.
I got into some suspenders.
No, not to be offensive, but I talked about Hitler because I watched the Nazi film, not as in a good Nazi film. As
freedom of speech.
Wait! You hashtagged Hitler in one of your posts and you got suspended.
No, it says community guidelines violation.
Ooh.
I aim to get one of them on my profile.
Ooh.
Maybe we should hit Twitter. All by German football kids with number 44 on the back.
Yeah.
But Kev, I tried to comment on that post you said the other day, and I said, "Ta-da! I made my girlfriend disappear." And then it came up with saying, "We won't allow you to post this. This goes against all the rules on Instagram." And I'm like, "What?
What?
It's like
it's not like you're Jerry McCann saying I made my daughter disappear, is it? It's like
why did you put your fiance?
I got confused.
Yeah, Drew just dropped a spoiler that he's like, but isn't she your wife?
No, Drew is married. Drew
has married.
I forgot and said she was a fiance.
No, he said about my girlfriend, my partner.
I thought you'd been together a while. I just thought,
this is probably a good time for you to tell everyone, Kev, that you're about to propose. So hopefully she's listening.
No, I'm not proposing.
Does she listen?
Question.
No.
Do either of your partners listen to this?
That's fine.
Sadie says it sounds boring as fuck. She goes, I can hear half of it from downstairs and it sounds boring.
Should we go drop kick her?
No, she's seen a couple of the like social clips and thought it was quite funny, and she's quite invested occasionally. She's busy doing her stuff, but every now and again she'll like come up with a logo idea.
Stuff? What's that?
Well, she runs her own business.
Which is? If you say Avon or Tupperware.
No, she does dog training. So she's a specialist in dog training, behavioural.
Haven't you got a dog?
Yeah, we got a dog.
Can you get him and make him do sit and tricks?
The dog has been on the podcast like 4 times.
Like, wait. Are you talking about like dog therapy? Like if the dogs have
therapy,
training, literally training, how to train a dog.
Yeah, can we see your dog come in and do tricks, Kev? Because I'm going to judge how good she is at her job.
It's not about doing tricks. It's about teaching owners how to respect their animals and treat them properly, and for them to allow them to be a dog without it impeding their...
Allow them to be a dog?
Well, no, people get dogs and just allow them to be dog, and then they're like, oh, it barks a lot, or
allow your dog to
doesn't do what I say when it's an emergency situation. But
so it's creating a symbiotic relationship with your dog.
Yeah, I won't get into it. Her company's called Zoomies. If you're in Chester or the Cheshire area, she will come and do a 1-to-1, or you can come to puppy classes. So she's always promoting doing stuff like that. So she's always into that. Anyway, she was trying to come up
because we plug her in it. So
yeah, she was trying to come up with like ideas for our logo and stuff, and she has some good ideas. But
on the subject of plugging, then Walking with Dogs.
What you
Dan
plug
Bowman's and Adam Baxter's
Baxter.
company, a very reputable company in Andover area.
I forget that Dan Bowman.
Running with Dogs, sorry.
It's a charity to help with dogs. Or...
It's not charity. No, they make
not
money.
charity.
They want your money. They want your money.
It's dog training.
Okay.
You got to pay.
Is it dog? It's dog walking and dog training.
No, they have like
and
3 or 4 dog agility courses where you can
That's
send
it.
your dog to like doggy daycare, but they also do training.
Yeah, Adam Baxter's my guy. He's like, I went to school with him. He was in my class for 5 years. He's like him,
And
and
Bowman's got big muscles, so
He went to.
Bowman got big.
He was at Crickley College, man. We were. I was in one of the
Crickley,
plays
wow.
he wrote. So
Who? Adam Baxter.
yeah, he wrote a really cool play, and me and Adam were in it.
Oh,
Adam
sweet.
Other Adam.
And his dad, John Baxter, who was in Safe. Or
Yes, and
going back to that again.
Harbinger. Anyway,
we're 20 minutes in, and I haven't asked the question from.
oh shit, you haven't even asked Arzu's question.
That
Holy
brought up in minute 1. She's going to be listening to this on tenterhooks, going, "They
You will
forgot
laugh
about
because it
me."
was so terrible. She's like, you started with the question and you didn't.
So Arzu, that's why I said, "Where do we 3 meet?" And I went on to Curry's, and that deviated.
Oh yeah, the Dan tangent.
But listen to episode 10. She also says, "Where did this love of movies come from?"
I hate movies.
That's James's answer. Drew?
Oh man, well you know we since I was a wee lad. Actually, I'll tell you a weird story real quick.
Oh, God, here we go again.
I love I love acting so much, right? That when I watched ER and I saw George Clooney, this is way before I understood anything about Hollywood. I thought it was a documentary, and George Clooney was actually a doctor. And I was like, and then my parents like, no, this is a TV show called ER.
True.
And I was like, wow. No, but that's good. It's the idea that it tricks you into believing. So I was young, man.
And then you thought,
Can you imagine how inappropriate it would be for a film crew to be there for most of that stuff?
Yeah, but they make documentaries about that all the time, man.
Can you think at one point were you going, this doctor's so good, he's become Batman?
Yeah, also, crazy stuff happens every week. It's mad.
I think
This doctor in this hospital is now being Batman on the side. This is the most amazing.
he's so good at saving lives. He's now saving Gotham.
Yeah.
No, I get it. But my point is, I was inspired by, the idea that you could play any role. So you wouldn't have to have any occupation because your job is to play any character that has any occupation. So you could play anything. You could be an astronaut, a doctor, a fireman, a producer. I don't know, you could be a superhero, I love films. I think it's a beautiful escape. Like you were saying the other day, rather than taking drugs or alcohol, you can watch a film.
Medication,
You can escape, man. You can escape. And it's a more immersive experience than a book necessarily. I mean, obviously I love books too, but
Not
I
quite
think,
as good as mushrooms, but close.
yeah, but that's my love. And, I'm an actor and I love storytelling. I went down that avenue because I love film so much. Yeah, man, I love movies.
And yeah, we do. I got into it when I was younger because I collected films. So I don't know if James remembers, it might have been before he moved in, but my bedroom at the time I had thousands of
DVD collection.
VHS before
Sick,
DVDs were
yeah.
invented. And then I had hundreds of DVDs. And
You had a lot of weaponry as well, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, you had nunchucks.
yeah, I
and-
was really into hurting
Ninja
people
stars.
and watching films.
Yeah.
That was my 2 favorite things. But
Yeah.
to go on that subject, to bring that together as a symbiotic story.
What was the question again?
Where
Why do we
did
love
this
films?
love of movies come from? I mean, everyone loves movies, but I remember when I was younger, and this goes to my cousin Michael O'Connor in Glasgow. He owned his family owned this like big bar. So you'd be like when you walked in, it wasn't like a pub. It was like not a restaurant, there was a dance floor, loads of seating, and then
It was the Roadhouse.
bigger, much bigger than that. There was a gym, there was a sauna, there was a relaxation area, there was a dojo, and they then also lived. There was like 6-bedroom apartment above it. It's this massive building in Motherwell outside of Glasgow, and it was an incredible place. and I used to go there, and there was a dojo. So basically, they also had an underground boxing ring because Michael's older brother, my cousin Frankie, he was one of the Scottish boxing champions at the time.
Is that where they filmed Fight Club?
No, it looks like that. It was that type of place.
That's where they filmed Braveheart.
Anyway, so I used to, that he was my favorite cousin, Michael, because he had the dojo, he had all these weapons. That's what got me into weapons, and I was already into film. But he is the person that got me into Bruce Lee, that got me into Jean-Claude Van Damme, Steven Seagal, all these people, and from there, obviously, The Crow happened, and that sucked me right into films. And also, that's why I had loads of weaponry, because we used to fight each other. And he's older than me by about 5 or 6 years. So when I was like a kid and he was a teenager, I used to go to this dojo, and he used to go to this wall of samurai swords, bows, as in sticks, sais. They're the things that Raphael and Turtles have. Cat o' nine tails, all these mad fucking weapons that you could kill people with. He's like,
well, I thought you were a murderer when I first met you and you brought me back to your house. I was like, I'm not going to make it home tonight. Like,
all that freshly planted grass as well was a bit suspicious.
One of the fights we had
always had a new like patio.
Well, one of the fights we had, right? This is brilliant. I go to his dojo and he goes, right, pick a weapon. We're going to have a fight. And you've got to remember, he's not just a teenager and I'm a child. He's like almost 6 foot and I'm like 4.5 foot. So there's a height and age, and he's built. He's got a 6-pack. He looks like Van Damme. He is a muscle man, basically. So I pick up this big stick. So I think I'll fucking batter him with this stick. And do you know what he picks up? A dog leash. Not a weapon, a dog leash, as in a metal chain.
And then he put on a gimp mask, and then that story ended in tears.
No, I went to hit him with the club, and he just swung this thing round and smacked me.
He's in prison now.
Pulp Fiction. It turned into Pulp Fiction.
Yeah, his house burnt down.
Right. This is how cool Michael is, right? When I was 10, I think, no, I was younger, maybe 7 or 8, my uncle passed away through cancer, and I'd never experienced death before. And it was really horrible. I didn't know how to react to it. My parents dropped me off at his because I wanted to play with my big cousin Michael and have fun and forget about stuff. So they dropped him off. Obviously, it's Michael's cousin, uncle as well, and I was really upset. And Michael could have dismissed me as a little kid. He really took care of me. But back then, emotional support and mental health wasn't a phrase you'd ever heard. No, was never mentioned. What he did to make me feel better is, because we're in this dojo in his bar,
beat the shit out of you.
No, he climbed out onto the roof. It's like 6-story building. Climbed onto the roof and started removing tiles from the roof. And he brought it in. He put it on a couple of bricks, put a few tiles, and went, right, take your anger out, karate chop that. And he made me batter the crap out of these tiles until I smashed them to smithereens, and I felt amazing. I don't know if his parents ever knew that that's why the wet patch was coming through in the ceiling, but we were just breaking tiles and stuff. How mad is that?
That is a beautiful story. Instead of breaking bread, you're breaking tiles together. That is beautiful.
It's a great way to admit to a crime. I mean,
yeah. Oh, he was a reprobate. Can you remember those little G.I. Joe figures when you were young that had parachutes that you throw out the window, and it'd be this little plastic man with a little parachute,
yeah, like in Toy Story.
So what he did, he used to set them on fire and throw them out the window onto people's cars and people walking past.
Jesus Christ, it sounds like Sid.
Oh, he did much worse things that I will not.
Where are your rebel friends now?
James, do you have a further detail on what got you into your love of movies?
I don't know.
Porn.
Porn. No, I don't know. Just always liked him when I was little, I guess.
What was
the first movies I saw? One of the first big movies I saw that I remember seeing is probably Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. What was that, 91?
Really?
And I was... Yeah, but think, you don't remember when you're like 3 or 4, do you? So...
Did you not watch like Care Bears or...
No.
Disney?
Care Bears?
Tasia. Something.
What about Biker Mice from
No,
Mars?
Fantasia is.
I
I
feel like
did
that's
watch Fantasia, and that is just crazy.
James, Biker Mice from Mars. Is that a bit of you?
That's,
Yeah, but that was after 1991.
that's too recent.
Oh,
No,
is it?
recent's the wrong
No.
word, but not.
Also, not a movie.
How old are you, Drew?
39.
Ah,
Yeah, Biker Mice from Mars, 1, not a movie, and 2, mid-90s.
We're the
With
same
Bucky
age.
O'Hare. Remember Bucky O'Hare?
Captain Bucky O'Hare.
No,
know
I think the earliest movie I remember watching was probably, I don't know, Beetlejuice was up there. That was relatively young.
Drew.
Yeah, man. Captain Bucky O'Hare.
When was Beetlejuice out? I remember watching that.
I'm going
Wait, a
to say
cartoon?
85,
But I remember watching the original Ghostbusters, but it would have been at home. It wouldn't have been in the cinema.
88.
What about
It
Raggy
would have
Doll?
been,
You would have been 4.
what was?
Beetlejuice.
Raggy Dolls?
I was about to say Ghostbusters was 84. So
Drew, you're speaking right into the mic and it muffles it. Stay away.
Raggy Dolls.
Stay away.
but I never used to go to the cinema when I was
Raggy
really
Dolls.
little. I
Raggy
used to
Dolls.
buy the videos.
Yeah.
But I remember when Blade came out in like 95, and I was like too little to go to the cinema. And I think it was about a year till it came out on video. But remember, I grew up, it was in Germany, so my neighbours 2 doors down, so I was in year 5. What's
Yeah.
that? 11? 10? No, how old were you in year 5?
I haven't got a clue.
13?
9? No, 13 secondary school. So 8 or 9, but our neighbours 2 doors down, their dad ran the cinema on camp. So I remember watching Jumanji, like,
Oh,
Brilliant.
what
So-
year was Jumanji? Google that, Kev. I remember watching that at the cinema.
96?
I watched it like 5 times. Ace
95.
Ventura, The Mask. Like we were saying the other day, the mid-90s was everything, wasn't it?
95.
Yeah.
Two years after, a year after, 2 years after Jurassic Park.
Yeah, same year as Blade and Bad Boys. Obviously, I was too young to go and watch them, so...
I remember my
I
mate.
remember watching Jurassic Park. Probably
Sorry, I was
wasn't at the
just
cinema, though.
My mate somehow got a copy of Blade on VHS, and he brought it around to my house, and we just started watching it in the living room. And I remember, I think my mum came in at one point and saw like the violence, like just blood and bits of arms and stuff flying, and she's like, "What are you guys watching?" But and I were like, it doesn't matter, like it's a friend's film or whatever. Then she went out, but it was like, I just remember how entertaining that film was, and just how brilliant the story was and the character, and it still lives up to that experience even
Here's
now.
one for you, then. Think of a superhero film, because Blade will put him as a superhero. He's in Marvel. Think of a superhero film that predates that isn't something naff like Superman. Or actually, no, okay, Batman. But apart from Batman,
Can't
like
think of
Batman and
anything.
Batman Returns, which were in the 80s and early 90s.
We talk too much about superhero films. I don't think any of us actually like superhero films that much
I
either.
love them.
Wait, what's the other question though? Let's. I think we got off track a little bit. What was the second question you had?
I was going to say, like, when it comes to films, I remember my parents being really liberal with me. Like, they wouldn't mind. I watched things like Arnold Schwarzenegger's Commando when I was like 9 years old, Species, RoboCop. Excuse me, when I'm around like 10 years old. I remember I was...
Species, what a great film.
It was great,
Brilliant.
yeah. And we watched, like, we rented Terminator from the VHS store when all my friends weren't allowed to watch it. And I said, oh, can my friends come and watch it? And because it was an 18 and I was 10, and obviously my friends were 10, my mum was like, no, we can watch it, but they need permission from their parents. You know?
Behind closed doors, sort of, yeah.
I could watch these things and it wouldn't affect me. I wouldn't get nightmares or anything like that. And I wouldn't go start killing people. So
I remember going to the video store and renting Thunder in Paradise with Hulk Hogan. Remember that?
Thunder and Paradise. I wouldn't have known the name.
Yeah.
I remember
It's an
he was in
early
a couple
Hulk
of
Hogan
films.
film.
So wait, was Hulk Hogan the first one to break into Hollywood before The Rock and John
yeah.
Cena?
Is that a genuine question?
Well, obviously, because Hulk Hogan's
Yeah.
old as
Hulk
shit.
Hogan's like
No, I'm saying
60-something years old.
I'm just saying, did he set the trend? Because obviously The Rock and John Cena did it better, right?
That's not
Right.
the film
No, no.
I'm thinking. Right, the film I'm thinking of when you said Hulk Hogan is Suburban Commando.
Great movie.
That was great. Oh my God, it's got Christopher Lloyd in it. 1991. And he was in Gremlins 2. What?
Thunder in Paradise was 1993, Drew. The Rock and John Cena weren't even wrestling then.
Right.
They
No, I
were.
know that.
Cena was
bringing it into
2000s and The
today's-
Rock was very late 90s.
No, but I'm guessing that they paved the way, though. Do you know what I mean? Like to
Do
create.
you know
that
there's an
segue in
episode
Hollywood.
of
Wasn't a
Baywatch?
proper actor though. He was just like in a few things.
If you ever watch something great, watch Hulk Hogan and Macho Man Randy Savage and Vader and Ric Flair in Baywatch. That's amazing.
What the fuck? What are they? Are they drowning, wearing rubber rings, and getting attacked by sharks?
Hulk Hogan has a jet ski accident,
Of course.
and then Macho Man comes up going, "Yeah, what are you doing here?" Because that's how Macho Man used to talk. He'd be like, "What are you doing, man?" It's like, "What are you doing?"
And then does he get
And
stung
then
by a
they end up having.
jellyfish?
Then they end up. No, this is the best bit. You've got Ric Flair and Vader, who used to wear a mask. He's wearing his mask, right, just in the street. And the whole thing is they want to buy a part of the land to demolish. And they make a decision on who gets the land by having a wrestling match.
Of course.
As you do. Don't go to
Baywatch.
council or anything at all. You just have a wrestling match.
Baywatch.
I'll try and remember to send you a link to it. It's brilliant.
I just thought of a really bizarre thing because like a lot of wrestlers were going into like Hollywood films and stuff like that, but they tried to bring a lot of their persona with them.
Doesn't
Do you
work.
think Jake the Snake would have to bring a snake into his films with him? And that was.
Do you know when that snake bit Macho Man, it was real. That snake
Oh,
was
man,
genuinely
yeah.
sinking its teeth into him.
Was Jake's snake poisonous?
No, he wasn't poisonous, but he generally got bitten by a snake, which probably bloody hurt.
Yeah, that looked brutal, man. That looked brutal. There was some nasty accidents though in some
Kev's
of those.
just
You know, like
googling
when they
Hulk Hogan in Baywatch now.
hit with a chair.
Some of the greatest acting you'll ever see.
No, I was trying to look at the message. I was trying to message Arzu back, but I can't find her original.
She had a second.
message.
Yeah, she had a second question, didn't she?
Yeah, I've got it here, but I can't see where.
Was
I
it
messaged
what 80s wrestling style was in Baywatch?
Right. So the next one is. So I think we answered where love of movies come from. She says, "Oh, she's got two more. Who is the goofiest of all?" I think Goofy. No one's going to be happy about this one, but I'm going to vote Drew on this one.
That's what I was going to say.
Because Drew is a bit random. It says some out there shit.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that's not
You say some
goofy.
goofy shit.
Okay, fair. Okay, you're going to throw me under the bus.
It's
All right, fair.
endearing. There's nothing negative. It's not a negative thing.
You're already
Nothing
under the bus,
negative.
like them cans on
You're-
speed.
You're the slow one. Okay, yeah, cool, fine,
Not
fine.
slow, not
Fine.
goofy. Who would you vote for, Drew?
Well, yeah, I'd vote for myself.
I was
Clearly,
going to say, if you
I
can't pick one quickly, it's you.
can't-
And
I don't know.
we know the answer to the next one.
I don't know what she means by goofy. I mean, that
I don't
terminology
know.
itself is-
Silly. I mean, when we're around each other, we're all pretty silly. Like if we're together drinking.
So it hasn't happened for about 10 years.
I think if
but
we were together drinking,
Yeah,
I'd say James gets probably the goofiest.
how dare you?
No, after a few drinks, like some of the crazy, goofy, crazy things that you probably want to do. You probably want to climb a roof and take tiles off it.
Yeah, I think
For sure.
me and James used to egg each other on and do like parkour when we couldn't do parkour.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
we would
and
do
after
parkour.
a few beers and whatever else you've been drinking, and I just watch on thinking, I hope I don't
James,
fall.
do you remember when we were doing like when parkour was a thing and we were doing it all the time? And do you remember in Andover at the end of the high street, you've got that key cutter place opposite
Yep.
Safeway?
I used to jump on that roof, didn't I? Get up it.
I used to, I jumped up on top of that, which is like it's like 12 foot. You need to do a few
Higher
kicks
than a
to
garage,
get to
yeah.
it. You can't
Higher than a car garage.
much higher. Like
You have to run up the wall to get
you
to it.
have to get a good 2 or 3 feet on the thing, and then you're away from the wall when you grab it and you pull yourself in. And I remember they put anti-climb paint on there.
Mhm. And we both had black paint on our hands for
It's
like
like
3 days.
Tar, you can't get it off. It's like sticky. We're like, fuck.
I realised very quickly that vans have 0 shock resistance when you jump.
Yeah, it kind of hurts a bit.
It just hurt, yeah.
I get the new vans. You get the Ultra Range EXO. They're like
But they've got a new like
company
cushion, haven't they?
trainers. Yeah, they're well nice. That's the only ones I wear. All right, next question from Arzu is, who has the best dad jokes? And we're all looking at one person here.
Who is a dad?
There's only one dad in the room.
Probably I make some bad ones.
Tell us some then.
I can't think. And normally off the cuff. There was a couple at Finkley the other day.
They don't have to be good, because that's the point.
What do you call stick? What do you call boomerang? Doesn't come back.
A stick.
Yeah. Did you hear about the one about? Did you hear about the magic tractor?
No.
It turned into a field.
Like turn.
I think you should. I've got a new job for you, James. You should write those jokes that go into Christmas crackers, man. You'd absolutely smash it.
Well, yeah, I can't go up to like Reef, who's 5, and go, it was an Englishman, Irishman, and Scotsman.
No, you definitely can't do that now. No.
Got any others? Drop in a dad joke whenever you feel like it.
Okay, what's blue and fluffy?
I don't know.
Blue fluff. What's pink and fluffy?
Pink fluff.
Blue fluff in disguise. That's how I got into a promo gig. They said, tell us a joke in front of like this whole panel of people. And I told them that.
I don't know if I told you, this is off subject, by the way, but you know I was saying I was going to Apple because I want to buy a new laptop.
By the way, the irony of saying off subject is on subject, because that is our
this
podcast.
is genuinely like completely random. I just
No, our podcast is off subject. That's what we should have called
I think we should rename us.
I was at the Apple store a couple of weeks ago. So I wanted to buy a new. Obviously, you know, I want to buy a new laptop because filming on my phone. If everyone knows, I film on my phone.
Mentioned it on 16 of the 18 podcasts we've done so far.
Yeah, I went in there and I saw someone like slip one of these. You know, these like Apple loops they have on the watches. There's that little bit of fabric there, like crappy bit of fabric.
Right.
Do you know how much that costs in the Apple store? £90.
Yeah.
You're having a laugh. I saw someone slip it in their pocket and they left, and I was like, they've just committed a crime. Am I an eyewitness?
Oh, it's an iPhone joke because there's
Oh, wow.
I thought that was a story. I didn't think that was a joke.
Wow. That was quite Brechtian. I completely.
When I went to get my iPhone 15 Pro Max the other week in Manchester, the sirens went off and loads of guards came and dragged a guy into the back room right past us. And I was like, Jesus. And the person I was dealing with went, yeah, that's like twice a day.
Oh, yours is a serious crime joke. Mine was just comical.
Oh, no, mine's not a joke. That's what happened. I was just saying that's what happened. But to go to Drew's joke, I can repeat the same joke with different words. What's red and smells like blue paint?
Oh, Jesus. What?
Red paint. Paint smells like paint.
Oh my God.
It doesn't smell of different colours, does it?
I think this episode is called The Worst Dad Jokes. I think that's what this.
I'll just title it All of Arzu's Questions because we've just run off all of those. We're like 40 odd minutes into and we haven't discussed anything apart from those questions.
Just a quick one. How do you track Will Smith in the snow? Follow the Fresh Prince.
Hey, that was cool. That was actually really cool.
Actual joke. Well done.
That was really good.
Yeah. So Drew wanted to do a top 5 scenario.
Yeah, man.
Let's do that.
Jake Gyllenhaal. Yeah.
I was going to mention one of his first films, but you might already have that. So I'll let you take the lead then. Go.
Yeah, that's definitely gonna. Well, I was gonna do 10, but I think 5 is probably better. Yeah.
Yeah, do 5.
So
do the intro to what you want to do. IMDb up running.
Well, I kind of know them off by heart. I think in my head, like actually, because I've been thinking about this for quite some time. So number 1 is Prisoners for me.
No, tell the audience what you're doing because I don't think we've actually. I think we just.
Well, did we not? Did you just explain that we're going to talk about the top 5?
It's going to IMDb the Jake Gyllenhaal films. I don't know what Prisoners is.
Okay.
I think you might have had a bit too much.
No. I thought you were going to do it like properly, like rather than me just mumbling some shit. You were going to go right. Let's talk top 5.
No, I don't want to do that annoying voice.
For
They're sick
acting,
of my voice because it's everywhere.
and is it about
Like shit,
is it about
thing.
Jake being a good actor, or is it about
Wait, just quickly.
No, but you're
what
right.
the hell
No,
is
okay.
Strange World by Disney?
No, but wait,
we
Kevin,
go off
Kevin,
topic?
Kevin has got a point though. Look, this is off the back of me saying pretty harsh things about Roadhouse and
You were
wondering
very
why.
rude.
Yeah, and I apologize.
Conor McGregor's not happy with you.
I know, and I'm scared. I don't want to be in a room with him. That would end badly. Especially if he's not wearing any clothes. Sorry. It's only because that's what he's like.
Oh, fuck is everyone?
Are you talking about Jake Gyllenhaal's good acting in a film,
Yes.
or a good
Yes.
film he just happens to be in?
A bit of both, really. Just because
So you haven't
I
gone
think he's
through
made
that,
some
that
great.
detailed.
Wait, Revolution?
You haven't
I
gone
think-
through that detailed, though.
I think
I've
he's
just
made
found
some.
something out about Jake
Oh
Gyllenhaal.
God!
Hang on.
What?
He's in one of my favourite films.
City
There you go.
Slickers?
Yeah,
Yeah,
What?
that's the.
He must be well young in that.
from 1991.
He must be like what, 9?
There's young.
Okay, but so yeah, basically,
He's 43
my whole
now.
point is he chooses great films, and I was obviously confused as to why he chose Roadhouse, but I get it after seeing the research and what you told me, Kev, last time about wanting to be involved in a film with Patrick Swayze did because they were good friends and he knew the director. Right, jumping from that, some of the amazing films that I've seen Jake Gyllenhaal in.
Go.
One is Prisoners, which is a phenomenal film. And what he was able to do
Great.
with that kind of cameo character was fascinating. And the amount of effort he put into crafting that character, I thought was brilliant with all the little kind of nuances and stuff. It was so good, man. James, you need to watch Prisoners, mate. You will love it. Directed by Denis Villeneuve. I can never say his name. The one that does Dune at the moment and Blade Runner 2049.
Denis Villeneuve.
Denis Villeneuve.
Demi Lovato. Okay, next.
And sorry, hang on. And then the DOP is Roger Deakins, and every film he makes just looks gorgeous. Second film for me would be Source Code. Absolutely love that film. And I actually couldn't believe that was David Bowie's son. And I really respect the guy for not jumping off the back of using David Bowie as a kind of just jumping off the name wagon. Anyway, brilliant film. Such a clever concept of the Groundhog Day, but done brilliantly. I think you'll agree, guys. The third film, in my opinion, Southpaw, to kind of throw in a boxing thing, I thought was fantastic, and the amount of effort that he put into it. Before Southpaw, sorry. Enemy is going to be number 3 for me, which I thought was brilliant. And again, another Denis Villeneuve film. And it's Jake Gyllenhaal and Jake Gyllenhaal. So however he managed to pull off that performance was fantastic. A bit like when Tom Hardy played both Cray brothers in Legend. Then it would be Southpaw. And then my fifth one would be Donnie Darko, because I think he does an incredible performance for such a young age. And that film has stayed with me for ages. It's got such a haunting performance, especially him with that weird rabbit that looks like it's been possessed. It is brilliant.
Okay, so we're basing this on his performance, not the movie, right?
Anything you want. Just
maybe a bit of both. Like,
okay, well, I'm basing it on his performance and a bit of the movie, and mine's totally different to you.
That's great. That's what I was hoping.
These aren't in order. These are the top 5.
Okay, cool.
Okay, 1, Spider-Man: Far From Home.
Holy shit! I forgot that one. That was brilliant.
Number 2, The Guilty.
What?
Where he's the 911 response worker.
Oh yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Shit. Thanks.
Number 3.
This is why I wanted 10, Kev. You bastard.
Be here all night.
Yeah.
Number 3.
He was good in that, The Guilty one.
Ambulance, because I love it.
I need to see it.
It's just so much fun. Number 4, I'm going with Nightcrawler.
Oh shit!
Nightcrawler, incredible, yeah.
Great choice, dude. But this
And
is my
number
point.
5 is my number one pick. This is the number one pick. Zodiac.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
That's my number one.
So good.
Amazing movie.
But guy, this is a perfect example though. Look at how many amazing films he's done and all of the different amazing performances he's given.
Also, the fact that the Zodiac Killer was never caught. They thought they'd found him, but no one ever knew. And that film was the closest they did. But yeah, Zodiac's my number one.
It's creepy,
the rest
man.
are
It's
in a
also
random order, but
it's Andrew Kevin Walker though, mate. It's the same guy that did Seven. That's also why it's so good. So well written.
honourable mentions. Obviously, Donnie Darko and Brokeback Mountain that were
Oh yeah, Brokeback Mountain.
They were great movies for what they were. Day After Tomorrow was a fun film.
That was brilliant as well. But yeah, I mean, to go to what you were saying at the beginning as well about City Slickers, that was his first film because his mum and dad were involved in the film industry. So that was his first film that was involved in. Although
that helps, doesn't it?
He did have a tiny bit of nepotism, but the producers did pick him. He did have to audition. So he was in that as like a 10-year-old, I think he was. And he really got on really well with Billy Crystal. And he's got in his house a framed picture from Billy Crystal, signed by Billy Crystal. That's his private place.
Billy Crystal, by the way.
What?
What happened to him?
He's still around. He's just old.
Still around. He's just chilling out.
Anyway, the point is that he's got a Billy Crystal signed photo.
Like Rick Moranis just decided, I don't want to do it anymore.
And the signed thing from Billy Crystal says, oh, fuck. You've deviated me and I forgot what he said now. It's something along the lines of, I'm so glad to be in your first film.
Wow.
Remember me in the...
When you're famous.
Yeah, something along those lines. It was really like positive and uplifting and stuff like that. And Jake Gyllenhaal loves it to bits. It was his favourite thing and he treasures it. My top list, it's tricky because I agree with everything you guys have said because I think he is in loads of good stuff, better than you'd imagine. Yeah, I don't know what my top 5 are though. I'd probably say Zodiac is probably one of my favourite films he was in.
Yeah, that's number 1.
And Prisoners as well, and that sort of bit.
Brilliant in that.
I've got to say, Jarhead is not the best film, but I thought he was so good in it.
Forgot that.
The other one is, I don't want to go for Donnie Darko because you've both said it, is The Covenant with Guy Ritchie.
Not seen it.
It's a very recent film. It's a few years old. This is not it's a Guy Ritchie film. You would not know it. It's a serious film. There's no Guy Ritchie in it.
There's no London East End gangsters.
No, you're in Afghanistan or some war-torn country where shit's going down, and he's in the depths of things, and he has to drag this poor guy out and carry him all the way to safety. It's kind of Kajaki style, basically, and it's really, really good. The other one I would say would be End of Watch.
Oh, that's what I was about to say. Yeah,
that is good because he doesn't play the nicest guy in that film. That's him and Michael Pena and Anna Kendrick, bizarrely. But it's a really, even though Anna Kendrick's in it, who's used to doing fluffy comedies,
comedy actress, isn't she?
Really serious. It's quite violent, and I think is it L.A.? Yeah, police officer in L.A. When they meet sort of criminals and stuff like that, and they're pretty aggressive towards them. So yeah, I'd go Zodiac, Jarhead, End of Watch, The Covenant, and probably Donnie Darko. But also he was in a film called Okja, Okja, which
I'm not seeing that.
I think it's an important film. Whether it's good or not is subjective, but it's a very good film about climate change, how we're fucking up the world and stuff like that. He's in that a little bit. But
he was inside Amy Schumer, which I realise just sounds really inappropriate. But it was
I don't like Amy Schumer. Let's make this clear. Amy Schumer is fucking knob.
Whoa. I think she's cool, man. He was in Nocturnal...
No, she's a joke-stealing thief.
Nocturnal Animals.
Yeah, he's on a small part of that. He's not a big part of that.
Unfortunately, I found out something really
Life was good, but it wasn't great. It could have been better.
No, but it was following the tropes of aliens, I guess.
They had Ryan.
Oh, this is interesting, though.
The press tour of Life was very good because it was Jake Gyllenhaal, who's naturally hilarious, and Ryan Reynolds in a interview scenario, just taking a piss out of each other the whole time.
So
Has
this is
Jake
really interesting
Gyllenhaal
thing.
ever
So,
been in a light-hearted comedy?
Yeah.
Really?
so Jake Gyllenhaal was in Prisoners, right, with Paul Dano. This is actually really fascinating. Then Paul Dano wrote and directed a film, which I don't know if you guys know this, called Wildlife,
Yeah.
which stars Jake Gyllenhaal and Kerry Mulligan. So that's written.
Okay. Well,
Son of a.
well, he was in if you're talking about light-hearted, he was in a film called Love and Other Drugs with Anne Hathaway.
Oh yeah, that's what I meant about comedy, man. He's great in that.
Yeah, he's good and stuff.
Maybe that's better than I don't.
Cool.
I don't
Well,
know.
we should probably start wrapping up as well because it's getting late. Did you
Mate,
say
he was in
something,
Demolition.
Drew?
He was in Demolition and Everest.
You were going to say something else, Drew, though.
Oh yeah,
Like we've done our
sorry.
top
Yeah,
fives.
yeah, sorry, yeah. And I just want to say that what he's doing next is actually incredible, especially for a Hollywood actor. He's going to be taking on a very big Shakespearean role in on Broadway. So Denzel Washington is playing Othello,
Okay.
and I believe that he is playing Iago, which I
Don't
love.
really
as
speak a
Iago,
while.
the name of the parrot on Aladdin.
Huh?
Isn't Iago the name of the parrot on Aladdin?
I did.
It could be
Well, I
because
don't know,
Disney will
maybe-
definitely steal names like
Pretty
that.
sure it is.
Yeah, it probably is. But my point is, well, yeah, it's because Shakespeare wrote some of the best kind of character names, to be honest, and some of the best stories. But Othello is amazing. And if I had the money, I would jump on a flight to go to Broadway and watch Denzel Washington and Jake Gyllenhaal on stage in Othello. Like,
I
that
saw
is amazing.
Chicago on Broadway.
Well, yeah, but it's slightly different to Shakespeare, mate. I mean, Shakespeare
No, it was
is
shit. Yeah, it
very
was
hard
rubbish.
dialogue. And he even said it in an interview on Jimmy Kimmel. He said that to learn all this Shakespearean text, that's what I'm saying. I admire the actor. He challenges himself. He's a great Hollywood actor, but he's going on stage to perform for 2 months opposite, a massive actor like Denzel Washington
That's insane.
and performing Shakespeare, man. So like, hats off to him, man. Do you know what I mean? So
Denzel Washington is responsible for Austin Butler's career.
what?
So Austin Butler is a very good actor, but he was in I don't even know because I don't even know that sort of stuff, like children's programs, like as a young adult, like Disney sort of silly stuff.
Yeah, like Ryan Gosling and Zendaya.
And when Baz Luhrmann was floating the concept of Elvis, Denzel Washington called him up directly and said, "You need to look at Austin Butler." And he said, "Who's that?" And he said, "You will be awe-inspired by this kid's commitment to a role. You need to at least see him." And that's where he got Elvis. And if he didn't get Elvis, let's be frank, we wouldn't know his name. He is now in June and Bikers and everything. And he is monstrous, but he's going to be even more monstrous. This is before
He's
Once Upon a
incredible.
Time in Hollywood, before everything. You would never have heard of him if it wasn't for Denzel Washington. Because he was in a West End play with Denzel Washington.
I didn't know that, mate. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Also, we wouldn't have Black Panther if it wasn't for Chadwick Boseman, who
Oh, what a guy.
Denzel
What a guy.
Washington, I believe,
Yeah.
paid for him to go to
You're right.
one of those drama cadet kind of places.
Yeah.
And there's a really touching speech that Chadwick Boseman says. But
What a great actor that we never got enough of.
yeah, exactly, and taken so suddenly. And his performance, man, in everything he does, he commits like 150%. His final performance, something fatty.
He was very ill at the time as well.
Yeah, exactly, man. That's what I mean. And he gave 150%.
I think like Denzel Washington's got a lot to answer for. He's done a lot of things, but everyone that's at somewhere, no matter how talented you are, you got a leg up from somewhere. No one just naturally just floats in there.
Denzel's killed a lot of Russian people. In the last couple of documentaries I've seen, he's killed a lot of Russian people.
He's what?
He's killed a lot of Russian people in the documentaries I've seen.
In the
Like, he's blown up boats.
Equalizer
He's
3.
like murdered people.
Well,
Are those documentaries called
Does
The
what he
Equal?
wants, doesn't
I
he?
listened yesterday to Michael Keaton doing a speech, and he was winning an award for something. I don't know, something random like work done to cinema or something. I'm making it up because I can't remember what it was. It was only yesterday, so it's something recent. And
That was it.
Michael Keaton is talking to this audience saying, "Thank you for this award, but let's be frank, what I do is easy. You know, what housewives do, what people in, other industries do is hard work. What we do is not hard work. I do appreciate this award and I take it, but you've got to remember, I wouldn't have got here without a leg up, without that director saying, I want him to be in it. Like Batman, no one wanted Michael Keaton to be Batman. Tim Burton went, yeah, I like him. I'll have him in the film. No one else wanted him. The production company said no. Tim Burton had to fight for him. Anyway, Michael Keaton ends his speech and he goes, think about other actors next time, ones that are miles better than me. And he points at Ethan Hawke and he goes, that man there, Ethan Hawke, is one of the best actors in Hollywood. He needs to be up here more than me, but I'm taking it. And walks off.
That's amazing.
So yeah, we should wrap this up. I think Jake had enough already.
James just disappeared, I think, yeah.
You're going to get your brother's going to call you, isn't he?
Yeah. I'm going to give him a call now, man.
Why don't you say happy birthday to him now?
It just feels a bit, I don't know, man.
To us on the pod. Just tell us about your brother and say happy birthday to him.
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah. So it's my brother's 43rd birthday. And, I was just going to FaceTime him to wish him a happy birthday, man. That's cool. That's pretty much it.
Well, you could have said his name and say
happy
happy
birthday.
birthday.
He was in the studio as well because, Douglas Horner, my amazingly talented brother, who is a musician, singer-songwriter. I really wish he was able to do a tune for Rage Whale, which would have been mind-blowing, I'm sure. But he's got a lot of projects on at the moment that he's doing.
Yeah.
And that is literally my brother just messaging me now saying, are you ready to jump on?
Sweet.
Quick chat.
Right. Well, let's log off and let you have a chat to your big bro.
Yeah,
Give
man.
him love from me if he even remembers me.
Of course you will.
He's a good guy.
Certainly will do. Yeah, no, thanks, man.
Nice one. Well, it was good to chat.
Well, mate, I had a lot of fun, man. I enjoy this. And like we said, I hope people enjoy listening to our crazy shenanigans as much as we enjoy catching up, mate. It's a lot of fun.
Like I said, it's us hanging out number one. Someone wants to listen. Cool.
Happy days.
If
it's a
don't,
bonus, isn't it?
I'll jump on here every week just to chat to you guys.
Yeah, man. It's beautiful.
I have one follower. Couldn't give a shit.
One hell of a follower.
But luckily people are following, which is nice. So keep that going.
It's real. All right, dude.
This has been Rage Whale. Thanks for listening to Your Movie Podcast.
And we're out.
That's a wrap, man. Magic.
Cool. I don't know if James got bored or his battery died.
I think his battery might have gone. Yeah, I'm hoping. Is it me, or in the last few episodes he just looks bored? Just like, when are they going to say something decent?
Well, no, he's got resting like.
Oh, he's got resting face.
He's got resting face that says, "I'm not listening."
Yeah,
that's what he's looked like always.
Well, mate, there's one episode where I say, James, I love your face. And I'm like, that's not the question or the answer. But yeah.
All right.
Fair enough.
Well, happy birthday
it's all love.
To your bro. And
happy birthday to Dougal.
See you next week.
Take it easy, dude.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.